2 days ago, Kate Mayer of the Greater Chicago Food Depository came to visit me in my office. Kate is one of my favorite people. Kate runs this huge network of food distribution in the Chicagoland area. Her warehouses are huge, and they are filled with foodstuffs, much of which is donated by companies that produce food so that it can be distributed in food pantries and other sources all around the Chicagoland area. Kate is one of the best. And I look forward to her visits each year because I know the fine work that she does to feed the hungry. 2 days ago, she came into my office very sad. She said, "I don't know what we're going to do." I said, "What is the matter?" She said, "This Friday, the increase in food stamps or SNAP benefits for the poor people who live in the greater Chicagoland area are going to be cut. It may only be $10, $15, but she said, I know these people. I know many of them personally. They live so close to the edge. It's going to call for some sacrifice on their part, and many of them will be hard-pressed to make that sacrifice." And she said, "I can't make up the difference. With all the donations coming in, all the charitable contributions, I just can't make up the difference." And I thought about it for a minute, and I thought, how would you approach a member of the United States Senate or House of Representatives and say, you know, this cutback of $15 a month will really hurt? It's hard for us in our positions in life to really understand or identify with the plight and the struggle of those who are not certain where their next meal is coming from. Most of those people have the benefit of the SNAP program, the food stamp program. Well, who are these people? Who are these 48 million Americans who receive benefits from this program? Almost 1 million of them, Mr. President, are veterans. Veterans who are not sure where their next meal is coming from. They get food stamps, SNAP benefits. Almost half of the 48 million are children. Children. 22 million children. And another 9 million who are elderly and disabled. So when we talk about cutbacks in the food stamp program, talk about cutbacks in the SNAP program, we're talking about these people. The veterans, the children, the elderly, and the disabled. Right now, there are two proposals before us. One from the Senate that cuts back spending on this program to the tune of $4 billion over 10 years. I supported it because I think it closes at least the potential for abuse. I don't want to waste a penny of federal taxpayers' money on any program in any way, shape, or form. Senator Stabenow, chairman of the Senate Agriculture Committee, made this change in the food stamp program that will save us $4 billion and I think will not create hardship. In fact, it closes what may be a loophole. Now comes the House of Representatives, and their view is much, much different. They want to cut some $40 billion, 10 times as much, over the next 10 years. When you take a look at the approach that they're using for these cuts, 10 times the amount cut by the Senate, you understand how they get their so-called savings. They take almost 4 million, 3.8 million people out of the program. Children, single mothers, unemployed veterans, and Americans who get temporary help from the food stamp program. The House would cut $19 billion and 1.7 million people from SNAP by eliminating the authority of governors of both political parties to ask for waivers so that low-income childless adults under 50 can still receive benefits beyond the 3 months that they do ordinarily. This says that governors, looking at their state with high unemployment, understand that there are people in need. It is hard for members of Congress in the House or the Senate, hard for me too, to really appreciate the lifestyle of someone living paycheck to paycheck. But that's a reality for millions of Americans. Many of the people who are receiving food stamps are working. That may come as a shock to people. They're not making enough money to feed their family. I went to a food warehouse in Champaign, Illinois, went on a tour of it, and had a number of people who were explaining to me the importance of not only their work with food pantries, but the food stamp program. And I noticed one young woman who was part of the tour. I didn't quite understand why she was there. She was an attractive young mother. She explained she had 2 children, dressed well, and she was there, and I learned later why. She's a food stamp recipient. She has a job, a part-time job with the local school district, not a full-time job, and her income is still so low, she still qualifies for food stamps, SNAP benefits. She was there to thank me. And she wanted to thank me not just for the food stamp program, but because we changed the law a couple years ago and allow mothers like her to take their kids to farmers markets and use their food stamps to buy fresh produce. She said, it's almost like a trip to Disneyland for my kids. They've come to know these farmers. They look forward to meeting them each week. They give them a little extra apple or tomato or this or that. And she said, I just want to thank you. My kids are getting good food in these farmers markets, and it helps us make ends meet. A working mom with 2 kids, single mom with 2 kids. Those are the types of people who are receiving food stamps and benefits. The notion that they are somehow lazy, welfare queens, go out and meet them. Meet the woman at the Irving Park United Methodist Church food pantry that I met, who is trying to live in the city of Chicago on a Social Security check that pays her $800 a month. I challenge any member of the Senate or House, you try to get by on $800 a month in the city of Chicago. And she makes it because she has 2 food pantries that give her 3 or 4 days of food each, and she has food stamps. So, Mr. President, I'm going to ask that my full statement be printed in the record. But I want to conclude by saying that what we're talking about in food stamps is really a matter of basic hunger of children, veterans, elderly, and disabled who get this helping hand that makes a difference in their lives. We are a great and caring nation. I am so proud to represent a great state in that nation, but we are a caring people, and caring people do not turn their backs on hungry kids or hungry elderly people. We'd better take care when it comes to this food stamp program that we don't make cuts that are going to make their lives more difficult.